It's the quick take after Fulham's 1-0 win over Sunderland at Craven Cottage. Don't say that we don't love doing Fulhamish. We are sitting outside Craft Beer Co. in the rain. It has been a horrible day. It was a horrible match, but Fulham got 3 points. And I'm joined at Craft Beer Co. by Drew. Hello.
Good afternoon, good evening. God, that was a game that I feel like we deserved to win, but I didn't think we would at any point.
Yeah, but not one that will go down in the annals of time. Certainly not one for the neutral today. The £105 tickets in the Riverside probably weren't quite worth the money, but Fulham got a win. Raul Jimenez, 9 minutes from time. Drew, we'll start off with the lineup. We saw Iwobi going into midfield for the suspended through yellow cards, Sasha Lukic. No other real changes of note. Obviously, Josh King did come back into the lineup as well. I felt like, let's start with Iwobi. I'm really feeling like it's working. I felt like he had a great game today.
Yeah, it is. I think Marco was quite incandescent at some of the pundits who were suggesting it, but I think it's worked before. It worked at Everton. It's working at Fulham. I think it's really good. I think necessity is mother of invention as well. With Lukic out, I think that was the best. It was the only option we had, and it was good to sort of try it out again against a side like Sunderland, where we had a lot of the ball today. It felt like we had a lot of the ball. We didn't do a lot with it at times. So yeah, I was really pleased to see that, because I think that we live and die on that combination of the midfield three. So be able to have different ways that you can mix it up, I think is so crucial. Yeah,
I thought he was brilliant today. I think that he gets into areas that for me that Sasha Lukic doesn't. This isn't a hate on Sasha. I like him as a footballer, but today it all just felt a lot more dynamic. As you say, we had a lot of the ball today. Maybe it doesn't work every game. Be interesting to see what he does at Spurs. I felt like first half we were definitely the better team. I felt like both halves we were the better team today. I mean, Sunderland had a couple of moments. There was one where Bernd Leno saved us. It was a little bit iffy, but we were generally on top, if not creating tons.
Yeah, I mean, I say we had the majority of the ball. Definitely just felt like we always had it, and they had a couple of chances, as you say, but it was just, I wouldn't say it was plain sailing at all, because it clearly wasn't. There was a few. We didn't challenge their goalkeeper much at all throughout the game. Really, there was so many shots, but they were high and wide and mighty, and he didn't really have too many great saves to make. So yeah, it was a strange game in that sense, but I can't believe we've come away with the 3 points.
Kevin probably should have done a little bit better. What's happened to him? That game against Leeds in the sunshine with the samba flicks, I thought he could take on the world. And I'm not writing him off yet. I'm sure that Kevin's time will come. But he had 2 opportunities, but the big one was the one-on-one that was saved. And I mean, it was just one of those where stick it either side of him, just don't hit it straight down the middle. It was poor, you've got to say.
Oh, it was poor, and I think saying on the way over here, it's going to look worse on telly, I think, than what it did in the moment. But even in the moment, as you say, you're like, anywhere but there, Kevin. And I find it strange that we're talking about somebody like Kevin and confidence, because the man looks like he's got it for days. I saw his 8-pack on Instagram this week, so do you know what I mean? Like, he's not a man who suffers from a lack of confidence. But today there was just 1 or 2 things that didn't quite go his way, but I fully back him to come good. He's got talent in abundance, you can see that. There's a bit of the rough diamond aspect about him, but I think Marco's more than capable of shaving off those rough edges.
Speaking of rough edges, Raul Jimenez today, it was a tough watch at times. Obviously, he got the winner, which I'm delighted about. Let's come on to the goal. Obviously, Samu Chukwueze creates it, just puts the ball in a really dangerous area. Do we think that maybe a goal might be what Raul needs? We know that that's happened before with Raul, where he's gone through a bit of a dry spell, and a goal has changed things for him. It was a scrappy goal, and I think maybe, after a really tough game for him, it certainly wasn't one of his finest out there. The fact that he's got the winner might just be what we need, because we're going to rely on Raul, let's be honest. We haven't got another striker other than Kusi Asari in the squad. So maybe the sign of a new dawn for him, because for the first 80 minutes, I was seriously concerned about him.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Raul needs is a 2-week holiday, but I don't think he's going to get it between now and May. It was kind of uncomfortable to watch at many points, because he's getting so much stick from the stands, but he just looks like someone who's on a 0-hour contract, and he's on, hour number 24 of a shift. He's just absolutely out on his feet. So when things aren't coming off and a touch is awry here and things are going wrong there, he's knackered. He's playing pointless friendlies for Mexico, and that's negligence from the club. We don't need to release him for those. I don't know why we do in this situation. If Marco's so adamant we're not playing JKA, and we might bring Lupalo B up to the bench, but no more than that. refused to let him go. But anyway, that's by the by. He did go. He played 2 games and he was knackered. But yeah, he got a goal, which, he's going to look back on this game and be like, can't believe I netted there. The same with all of us, I think.
Yeah, I think I was shocked to see who it was on the score sheet. Chukwueze made the goal. I thought he was brilliant, and what's he got to do to get a start? Because he looks electric every time he steps onto the field.
Yeah, I just said earlier, just a minute ago off cam, it was his Kevin versus Leeds moment. Hopefully he follows up on it. I predicted it was going to happen at the Hill Dickinson, but that was my overly optimistic self. I thought that would be his coming out party, but he's had it now, and I think, God, he was good, wasn't he? He's just so exciting. We came alive after the goal, and we came alive when he came on, and it was just a different game, because before that it was the quality was a bit poor here and there, and it just felt like things weren't really connecting. It wasn't going to be our day. I had it nailed on. It was going to be a 0-0. I didn't think Sunderland were going to score, but I didn't think we were either. And then he came on and everything changed. And it's so exciting to have 2 players like that in the squad who can turn it on like that. And I think key now, it's not about the moment, it's how you follow up the moment. I think Spurs will be big for Samu, and I hope he gets a start.
This Fulhamish Quick Take is brought to you by My Kind of Cruise, the world's first cruise booking app and website. And what better escape from the upcoming cold winter months than escaping on a sea voyage? Sun on your face, drinks on tap, and you don't even need to miss a Fulham game, as most cruises actually show all the Premier League matches, even the 3 p.m. ones. My Kind of Cruise has unbeatable prices, and you can pay deposits as little as £1. So whether you're a seasoned cruiser or thinking about your first voyage, go to My Kind of Cruise, founded by a fellow Fulham fan. Download the app now from the Apple or Google Play Store, or head over to mykindofcruise.com and make sure you use the code Fulhamish at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Yeah, amazing moment for him, and also playing on a wing. We normally see him on the right, but he did a job on the left. He likes the in-curling off the instep of the outside of his boot. That was what he did for the cross. So yeah, big up to Samu. A less popular substitution today was the moment that Josh King came off. Genuine boos towards Marco, not towards Josh, for that decision. Not necessarily, I think, because we were bringing on Emil Smith-Rowe, although he isn't the most popular, but I thought it was an interesting moment today. It's not very often where Marco's getting criticism from the crowd, but there was definite, I wouldn't say it was 100% of the Hammersmith end, far from that, but it was an audible groan, and in some cases people letting their feelings known about that particular substitution. In the end, it kind of worked, because although Smith-Rowe sometimes his touch let him down, I thought he brought a lot of energy on.
Yeah, I think with a player like Josh King, especially in a game like today where we never really got sort of out of third gear for most of the time, like we were trying, but things just weren't happening. He is our creative spark, and he's the fulcrum of dynamism, and he is the Messiah, the second coming. So I think if you take King off when we are 0-0 in a game where we really need to get 3 points, that's always going to get the crowd up in arms. I think, I don't think it had anything to do with Smith-Rowe at all. I just think it will 9 times out of 10, if King comes off too early, and I'm talking pre-80 minutes, and we're in a position where we need something, I think you're always going to get something from the crowd. So I wasn't too concerned about that, but as you say, it did pay off in the end. I think Smith-Rowe's got a bit of the old the rust, doesn't he? I think he needs a run of games to really start to show us what he can do, but he's not getting that at the moment. You saw that with 1 or 2 fluffs and slices, and just, it's tough, isn't it, to sort of go from standing still from 70 minutes onwards, but it worked out well for everybody in the end.
Yeah, I also think worth giving praise to Harry Wilson at this point, who I thought had a good game today, was unlucky not to score, particularly that one in the second half. Let's come on to the defence. 2 clean sheets in a row at home now. Sunderland didn't offer an awful lot today. They've been very impressive this season, but they weren't particularly potent today. I actually don't think there were many moments in the match at all where I was particularly worried about them scoring. But for a team that doesn't seem to keep a lot of clean sheets, there's been very few in the last 12 months, to get a couple in a row at home, I feel like that's gonna give Leno and the defence some confidence, right? That clean sheets are possible at this level, because after a while during this season, I was thinking we're never going to ever keep a clean sheet. So 2 in a row, I think it's something to write home about. Yeah,
it is, absolutely. And I think as well, in the position that we're in this season where, we were conceding, a goal a game at least, you then giving yourself, you've got to score 2 to get a win at least. So obviously that's a huge thing for us in this point in the season, and this stage in the season, and the point in the table that we're at. It feels a bit weird though. I just don't, my mind hasn't computed that. You've just told me that, and I'm just like, where are we? I can't judge this season. I'm finding it so difficult to sort of gauge where we're at. People love Marco. We're not doing so well. People want him to stay. I want him to stay. We're keeping 2 clean sheets at home in a row, yet we're doing terribly. I can't figure out where we're at. But no, that's massively positive, and I don't think we'll keep one next weekend. But happy days that we've got 2 and 3 at least.
I mean, speaking of the wider picture, obviously I think Marco was under pressure going into today's game. The fact that there was such a journalism presence at his press conference on Friday showed that the wider media are thinking, oh, is this the next one to go? So Marco was under some pressure, there's no doubt, especially after the results and the performance, particularly at Everton. This keeps our head above water. And when you see a couple of the other results today, Forest winning at Liverpool, West Ham winning at Bournemouth, if we hadn't have got the 3 points today, it would be starting to look really ugly, because then you're just praying that Wolves, Leeds and Burnley are worse than us. And now with this, I'm not saying that all the problems are solved and that we're staying up and we're going to finish in the top half, but it's just another keeps our head above water result, especially when the next 3 are, as you kind of alluded to, Spurs, City and Palace, which is going to be a difficult game too.
Yeah, I think there's a mentality shift as well as a fan when you're down here, because if you're in the top half of the table looking around 8th place, you can lose 2 or 3 in a row and you're like, oh, and that's annoying. Now we're sort of 4 points off 7th when we were 2 points off 7th 4 games ago. But if you lose 2 or 3 where we're at now, then you're right in it. And then when you win and the West Ham's and the Forest win as well, you're almost annoyed, because it kind of wipes out any sort of distance that you could have put between them. And it's like you say, keeping your head above water. So it's definitely bought Marco time. I think he's got lots of time, but that doesn't matter. It's with the board who he's got to sort of impress, and so that's definitely helped. The press pack at the press conference on Friday, I mean, Jack Kelly has said so many times how he's the only written journalist sat there with Marco asking him what his favourite tin of beans are, and now there's like everybody there waiting just because they can smell blood in the water, and I hate it. So kudos to Jack Kelly for holding his own there and still getting some good answers this week as well off the gaffer, because I saw those tweets on Friday. But yeah, it's just the way football goes. But I think he's got credit with us, but that doesn't matter. We're not the bank.
Yeah, exactly. That'll do for the quick take today. Drew's son Cass is here. Cass, quickly sum up your thoughts on the game.
Hello, everybody.
What did you think of the game?
Good.
Yeah.
I was quite bored of it, but still, I was good.
Favourite player?
Harry Wilson.
And what did they say at the end of YouTube videos?
Please like and subscribe.
Oh my God, he's better than me. He's taking my job. Drew, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Please like and subscribe. Come on, you whites. Oh, that's good.